Hello everyone, Irini. Today another episode from Tales from the Womb podcast that I have created after our festival, beautiful online festival, Tales from the Womb in March. And I bring you another guest from the festival, our beautiful Anastasiya Mokienko. Welcome, Anastasia.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm happy you are here with us. And about Anastasia, she says that she has spent over 15 years studying and practicing meditation, Qigong, yoga, nervous system regulation, energy based approaches to healing and coaching. As an empath, learning to understand her own emotions, body, and energetic boundaries became essential. And this personal journey naturally evolved into supporting others, both individually and in groups, especially in reconnecting with their bodies and restoring a sense of inner safety. Her work as a coach focuses on deep listening, embodiment, and supporting people in rebuilding trust with their nervous system and inner alignment. Thank you again, Anastasia, for accepting to be our guest for this interview today. I think people watching us will also be interesting to know a little bit more about you beyond what I already shared. So you are free to share with us whatever you like.
Oh, well, I'm energy coach, and I came there, I guess, because when I was like in my early 20s, I was often struggling to understand what I feel, be connected to my own feelings, my own energy, understand what is mine, what is not mine. And it took me years to learn about how to distinguish things basically within my own energy system. I went through meditations first and then through channeling, through qigong, yoga, and then I was thinking that something is still missing. And I, when I took energy coaching, it was like a glue holding this together. And now actually I started to study health coaching, integrative health coaching. So I feel will be like even more holistic way to look on a person. And it's something that I've been missing in general in Western health system is to be looked upon as one whole system of a body instead of looking at separately, okay, like, okay, we have this organ or this organ and this organ, and they're not connected, but everything is connected. Our mind, energy, body, every organ, it's such a system. And I feel like a nerd maybe often, but I really like it. So I've been spending all my free time on learning more about health. I did PhD in health economics, and then I was studying Norwegian healthcare and studying patients with chronic illnesses and how they use healthcare. But then I thought like it's not enough for me. I need to go dive deep in a person. And I dived and I enjoy the dive. Um, Myself, I also have a health problem of long COVID, and it's been chronic now for 3.5 years. So I need to manage my own health, but then I learn a lot on the way, and then I can use this knowledge, of course, helping other people.
Wonderful. Now that you mentioned the healthcare, and we already had a short talk about the positive and the less positive sides of the system itself, because it is a complex system. What do you think is missing in general? I don't speak only about Norway or other countries, but in general, because it's also about the mindset itself in the healthcare system. What is missing to regard to the woman's health and
Ooh,
is the
women's health is very under prioritized in general. When you look on the research, everything based on male health because males are more standardized objects of research because they don't menstruate, they don't have cycle, and having constant hormonal level within the same age range, more or less, they kind of become these perfect subjects. And women, being the difficult test subjects, they don't want to really research us. So most of the research been done on men, uh,
And by men, I would also
by
say.
men to men, right? But then, like, I mean, endometriosis, adenomyosis, we still don't have so much research as like back in 60s, like last century 60s. And but then I'm happy that, for example, heart attacks, they figured out that are different in men and women, that it feels different, different symptoms, like already something. But I really miss that there would be more research done on female subjects.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere when I was preparing a course about womb health and also all symptoms and how we can also heal the womb. And I found an interesting information that for I didn't know at the time that this was true. That the first complete 3D imaging of the clitoris, which is a very important part, it's an external organ for us women, but it's part of the womb reality. It's very important for accessing pleasure and orgasm and also in all this self-regulation mechanism of the body because it's very much linked with the system, nervous system, vagus nerve, and everything. So they only did this in around 2000.
Oh
So
my God,
six
I didn't know that.
or less years ago.
Wow.
Imagine this. And I was thinking, wow, so practically this reality or the complexity of how this womb functions at the level of the body, its physiology, its anatomy, it's still something that is needs to be understood nowadays.
Yes, definitely.
It has
Even anatomy. I would think that anatomy already done chapter, but
no,
it's not.
no. I mean, and now we have so many wonderful tools for imaging and for exploring, and even medicine is quite advanced in technological in many aspects, and still some subjects, as you said, especially when it's about women's health, are taboo or are still to be unveiled. And
Oh,
I mean, we're here on this planet for how long? Come on.
well, clitoris technically is mini penis.
Yeah, I know. And it's this ligament we have in the body
Yes,
because it's really complex and even the
yes.
works and how many connection has with other parts of the
Yeah,
body.
it's a nerve sense, a lot of nerve sense there.
So imagine this. And I was thinking that then I shouldn't be surprised that we still have heavy medicalization and retraumatization when women are giving birth in many places of the world.
Yes, true. And then there is also a lot of symptoms
Yeah,
being kind of put as psychological symptoms, although despite the purely physiological symptoms, they put as, like, for example, postpartum depression.
yeah,
Actually, it's cascade of hormonal problems. All the hormones drop down,
yeah,
but it's still are noted as a depression. It's fucking hormone crash. I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, they're related anyway because everything that happens psychologically has a hormone
They're related, but still, it's like
fundament too.
still the psychological effect is due to hormonal effect. But then nobody really look into hormonal effect. Why? How can you actually help a woman in this state with hormones? But then also there is this huge, like, even despite that we are trying to be talking about equality, men and women equality, we are talking about at least salaries and rights, there is no equality in health still.
Yes.
Male health is still much more prioritized. and taken more seriously than female health. And women still have so many more complications with childbirth and in general with whole gynecology because it's not been studied really.
Yeah, unfortunately, but maybe slowly we can change it. I think that this kind of festivals that I created in March is one way. It's of course only a small fragment of many other endeavors and actions, but is one way to raise awareness about the complexity of our life and our womb reality, and to show the different aspects of this reality, and to speak about what is challenging too, not only about the rose or pink flourishing beautified aspects of
I
and
agree with you. It was very, very beautiful experience and important way to rise up awareness about female body in general and female health.
do you remember anything in specific that caught your attention or you got interested more during the festival?
I like the energy, the vibe of it. I like that it was quite high vibe and then it was a lot of sharing of knowledge and everybody kind of brought a bead. So it was like a chain with like many beads on, and every participant brought many beautiful points of information that were valuable.
Mm. Yeah, I like this image of the chain of beads. Then we
Mm.
get like a color to
Yeah.
the neck. Yeah, beautiful.
Mm.
The color was different and different flavors and intensities.
Intensity, yeah. And everybody brought different energy, and all together it's kind of brings something, creates something beautiful.
Mm.
Mm.
What do you think could we do more beyond these festivals? Because there are many festivals also in presence or online. Or and I'm referring now to something very specific. So recently, I had this. I was reading a comment or a post of a priestess from America. I think she lives there, commenting on something that happened in Netherlands. There was this website uh, uh, that was public and used by many thousands or more than 1,000,000 probably of users. Most of them were men, and they were calling themselves motherless. But this website actually was a kind of community where men will share among themselves tips and even videos while they were abusing their own partners after drugging them.
I have heard about it, yeah.
Recently, there was another post about this situation because this is very recent, actually, it's few weeks, um, where the same person was commenting that the authorities brought the website down because was considered unqualified. It was like into the label of porn or exploitation of people or something like that. But in my mind, when I read all this news, I think CNN made this public about the website first, and then there was investigation and everything. In my mind, there was this big question: why these men are calling themselves motherless? And and then I thought, okay, I would, if I would want to create a movement to try to explain why this is possible and how we can answer to these motherless views, I would call it Mother More. Because it feels like what we're missing in the society is a real understanding of motherhood and
Mm.
of womanhood as something that is not threatening to the men, as something where they don't have to go into survival strategies like abusing others or their partners or whomever is in their proximity. And I think that in this case, we have a big responsibility as women to understand that those men that feel that they don't have a mother, or they didn't have a proper mother, or whatever, they don't even want to think about having anymore a mother, first were victims, and then they became abusers in this way.
The sound is
This
gone.
kind of happenings are possible because you get very puzzled how this is possible first.
Yeah, right.
And the question, what should we do about it so it doesn't happen? Because it's also about how we raise our children and the view.
It is about a lot about how we raise our kids and what
Yeah.
values we bring to them. And we should, of course, bring more of these compassionate values to the kids so that from the early age they would feel this humanity, common humanity thing. And it's been shocking to me to learn about all these things that have been happening. And I think this an idea of mother more, it's really a beautiful idea. But I think it's also it comes also from this huge gap between genders as well. Like this wouldn't happen to men by women. And it's been generational history of generational abuse towards women. Let's be honest about it. And even though now we say, okay, 21st century, in many countries, women are skilled, abused, and countries that are supposed to be, well, modern.
Mm,
So I think we should start by bringing more common humanity vibe, values, and also don't separate the genders. Don't put that one gender is more important than the other gender.
mm.
Yeah, but it's been shocking, really, to learn these things.
Yeah. I always say that all these traumas, because this is also expression of heavy trauma at the collective level, and
Yeah.
distorted views about manhood and womanhood and so on. All these traumas is something that starts very early and it starts in the womb.
Mm.
Of course, even before, but for what we know, for what we can remember, it's within the womb that somehow our future life, our future self is shaped. And then, of course, there are outer circumstances and other things in life while we develop. But yeah, that that's the reason actually. It makes me think that it's so right to continue to speak about the womb and to share all these stories of the womb, even the negative stories and the negative imprints. We need to speak about them.
We need to bring up awareness. Mm.
Yes. More.
Mm.
And you brought to the festival a very beautiful guided meditation. It was about also connecting and healing with the ovaries, if I remember well.
Ovaries and pelvic floor, yeah.
Pelvic floor. Would you like to share a little bit what inspired you to offer this meditation and why do you think is important to do this kind of
Well,
meditations?
myself, I have both endometriosis and endometriosis, and the help that you get in public health care, it's either you take pill and you stop a cycle, but it doesn't really treat it. You just don't cycle. And or the other one is that they make a surgery, but 70% of it would come back. And so there is no real treatment. And as somebody who works with energy, I've been, of course, working a lot on my own body. And working on my own body, I would cycle the energy. So, for example, in Qigong, you have exercises where you would cycle your energy through the energy paths, and it would be like head down towards the arms on the other side of the arm, and back towards the feet and on the front side and inside of your body and up again. So you would sort of circulate, and it would be sort of, well, I would call it energy spa.
Nice.
Yeah, but then I like also to focus on the pelvic floor and the internal organs because they really need a little bit extra love. And then in my own practices, I would put a lot of light on my internal organs. And I wanted the participants in the festival also experience the things that how you would guide yourself through bringing light into your body, and where you bring your awareness, energy goes. So whenever you think about your pelvic floor, energy goes there. And then as you sort of focus on it and it softens, you actually start to experience it. And sometimes even we might feel very numb. When we start feeling it, we feel pain, but this pain, feeling it, it's actually healing because we are first time not numb. We're actually focusing on something that our body was like shutting out because it's too unpleasant to focus on. And yeah, so my inspiration was this, was a session. So I wanted girls have a way how they can help themselves without external person actually doing it to them, but then they're kind of self-healers for themselves. Of course, it doesn't heal you fully, but it's relieving a lot of often symptoms, and it's relieving ways how you feel about your body. You feel more connected, you feel more intimate with yourself. Yeah.
It's all about increasing this awareness about where you are, how much connected, and what the body wants to express.
Yeah. And
Mm.
then also when you listen to your body, it gives you so many tips about your life. Like even when I do my sessions, coaching sessions, we usually close eyes, we go into the body and we feel the body, and the body talks to us. And the body brings us intuitive hits, like it could be feeling, it could be visual, thought. And those are not by nothing. They actually hits that your intuitive bodily wisdom tells you this you need to change about life, this you need to change about your nutrition, this you change about your lifestyle,
Yeah.
whatever. But relationships also leave traces in our body. Yeah.
Sexual relationship actually are very much imprinted in our womb, and we don't often realize how much those energies, especially if they have been heavy energies of conflict or abuse or whatever, they can get us in a place of suffering, but
Mhm.
suppress. That's why we get into numbness often
Mhm.
rather than feeling that pain or
Yeah, it's easier to put under the carpet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm. And
unfortunately.
the womb can store really a lot.
Yeah.
Poor
Yeah.
womb. We should praise her more often and listen more to this part of our body and clear it,
Hmm.
cleanse it, or whatever
I
you
mean,
call that.
I would say that every organ actually have interesting story to say, and womb is definitely about the energies and very, very early histories. And I like also to focus on liver. It has like our anger and boundaries, spleen about fears, digestion about digesting, understanding what around us and relationships. So it's like it feels actually like a whole abdomen can say just such a story about life. Talking about it, I started to rub my belly. Yeah.
So your body, your womb is saying, "Oh, now you are looking to me, and I'm happy."
Yes.
You see, just talking about it, then you start to connect a little bit more.
Definitely.
That is really beautiful.
Mm.
From your own experience living in a woman body, you already said that you also have endometriosis, so I suspect that you dealt with pain along your life
Mm. Yeah.
because of menstruation and the pains. Um, is there any moment or a specific story that you remember where you felt very proud to be in a woman body, to have a womb?
I think daily.
Mm,
I think womb is our creative source. We create even like think about whole life around what you create around yourself. It starts with your womb and inner feeling. It comes to your heart, it goes to your brain, and comes into action. So, of course, the natural thing is about children and childbearing, but then it's also more than that. It's a whole creation around you and your life and who you are. You bring your female touch to everything just by your existence. So I feel that this is my feeling about womb. I cannot say you like some specific moment, but it's just this connection to yourself, bringing softness to outside. Or sometimes you need also to bring boundaries to outside, but being small, fragile creature and bringing your essence out to the world.
beautiful.
Mm.
Have any moment when you felt that you were creating something special from this space?
I think every time I hold the channeled meditations, like these meditations that I hold for the participants, I would connect to some source deep inside of me, and words would just come out. Uh, I feel it comes out in my work. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like your womb is speaking through your voice
Yeah.
when you connect in this energy.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Thank you for asking this question because it's made me actually aware about it.
beautiful. Yes, our womb has a voice indeed.
Yay.
We have to express it just more often and when it's needed, especially when it's needed, because I think we are living in times when women have to raise more the womb voice, and
Yes.
not in a way to necessarily counteract something or to give an answer to something that is disturbing, but just as a way of living. It is, I mean, in general, our organs in the womb are similar and very much connected with the vocal cords. No, there are many drawings circulating on Google right now that show this connection. But what many
Pictures
women,
look very similar of vocal cords and womb,
yes,
like
exactly.
the construction itself.
Yeah, but what many might not know is that this connection is created in the embryo stage of our life, so in the womb of our mother. And if there is any disruption in that period, which means the first weeks of life, I think the embryo is around 14 or 16 weeks, and then it starts to grow more in the form of the fetus. If there is a disruption or a trauma or something happens, then we can get affected. And of
Mm.
course, there are many other reasons that disconnection and a healthy expression can be affected in our life. But knowing this already gives us a very important piece of information to also know how to retrieve our voice in case we feel lost or that we cannot express properly. And that is one part of the womb healing journey that I often speak about, or I
This
think.
is super interesting. I actually didn't know that the vocal cords connection to the womb is formed within
Yes,
first.
because it's about the
So,
digestive tract and all the axis of the body is in this phase that is firstly, let's say, molded, and then it develops with organs and everything. But the first cells and the first movement, because the essence of our development in the womb is about cells that are multiplying and then that are moving into fluid spaces, and then they create organs and everything. And I got to know this because I was in some workshop with Olive Bieringa, who was another guest of our festival. I hope to bring her here too for an interview. And she works with all these systems in the body in an embodied way. She has very interesting workshops. And she spoke also about this in one of the offerings she has in the festival that is also recorded. So for those interested, it can be purchased still at the discounted price. And I have the feeling we are almost close to the end of this interview. But before this, I would like to know if you have any thought or encouragement or piece of advice for those who are listening to us.
mm, something that I really like that everybody would do daily is checking in with themselves. It's like having just a moment to themselves and you breathe in and you feel your feet and you feel your body, your womb, your heart, your face. You relax yourself and you ask how I'm doing. Is there anything that I can do for this body today? And then you actually do it. You respect it and you do it.
Yeah, very good advice. Let's do it. Don't just imagine it. We need to do it. Thank you, Anastasia, again for this interview. It was very
Thank you
nice
for
to have
inviting
you
me.
here.
It was very interesting.
I wish you good luck with health issues or whatever other project you have in mind. And for those who watch us, please subscribe to the channel, but also know that this podcast is available on Substack also. So this interview can be also shared from this other platform. Like and share if you enjoy the content of the episode and follow up so there will be more interviews and content. Thank you again for watching. Thank you, Anastasia. And I wish you a wonderful day and week ahead. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.